Yep, someone trolled the VFW. Greetings again, everyone. This is the Gardening Snail of Livingston, California. I've been council watching since at least 2007, and I'm still trying to figure out what's going on around here. Before we get into the more serious stuff, I want to mention something positive that took place last week. On Friday, June 26th, the city of Livingston unveiled two new larger-than-life art cutouts by local artist Joel Aguilar, the same artist that created the courthouse mural and several other smaller pieces you might have seen around town. Plans are for these creations to take their place at the Witten Parkway entrance and to eventually be joined by others to represent the ethnic diversity that makes up Livingston's population. Now we're going to talk about a particular creature who stalks the halls of social media looking to cause chaos and confusion, kind of like a poltergeist, but much more mean-spirited. For a little background, we're going to go back to a 2009 post I did, look at some definitions, and consider what those means. We'll begin with troll, one who posts a deliberately provocative message to a news group or message board with the intention of causing maximum disruption and argument. Flame, to insult someone electronically or otherwise, sometimes to be a group insult. Flamer, a person who constantly starts fights on forums or message boards, usually with many vulgar statements and outright lies. Flame war, a heated argument between two individuals that results in those involved posting personal attacks on each other during or instead of debating the topic at hand. Whack job, someone who is crazy and or has lost their mind and acts like a damn lunatic. Someone you should avoid at all costs as they may be a harm to yourself or others. Wingnut, an outspoken, irrational person with deeply held, nominally conservative political views. A person who chooses on principle to be flagrantly ignorant. A right-wing nut. However, I can attest that to the existence of left-wing wingnuts. I have met my fair share of those along the way. At the time I wrote this, I had been thinking about stuff going on at council meetings and how difficult it is to have an honest, rational conversation about problem solving when you don't know if the person you are talking to is being real or not. By being real, I mean you know the person's belief system well enough to understand where they're coming from on any particular issue. You can grasp where the two of you agree and disagree and can have an honest discussion about what might be the best thing to do about things like water rate increases or community gardens, land rezones, or general plan updates. Let me give you an analogy of sorts from my Twitter experience. First, I want to talk about a real person I know on Twitter, Plutonium Page. There's a whole lot of stuff we do not see eye to eye on. I see her as being somewhat on the left. She might classify me at times as somewhere on the right, just a hair shy of wingnut status. But there are things in the middle that we both agree on, and if I had her over to my house for pizza and beer, we could talk or discuss or argue politics without ending up enemies. We might disagree on how to save the world, but we can agree that there's sure a lot of stuff needing fixing nowadays, and maybe come to a consensus on some of those things. She's real. You can have an honest conversation with a real person. Then there are those who are not real, like trolls. It is impossible to have a productive conversation with a troll because all he or she wants to do is mess with your head. They aren't really interested in finding solutions to complex issues. They only want to raise your blood pressure and ruin your day. Trolls flame you for fun and entertainment. And then there are wingnuts. It's likely to be impossible to have a productive conversation with a wingnut, either the right or left-wing kind, because they are so set in their ways, middle ground is not in their vocabulary, and most are incapable of even contemplating why you may think the way you do, or that you even have a right to your own thought process. Tangle with a wingnut, and they may end up flaming you out of frustration or maybe out of a sincere belief that you are truly out of your mind to even think the way you do. And they may end the conversation by calling you an idiot or worse. After all, such treatment is justified from their point of view. Now we're going to move on to an example of how a troll launched an insult into a VFW fundraisers post and tried to hijack the thread for its own purposes. So here we have the troll launching the insult and dangling the bait. $7 a plate? Damn, go to the taco truck and get yourself a freshly made burrito or some tacos. So notice, first off, there are some genuine attempts to give a polite answer, whereas the troll demands more information. For example, where is the money going exactly? Then the troll tries to shift the conversation. Shouldn't the government be taking care of vets? And there is at least one polite attempt to give an answer with a link to where a rational person might respond with checking the link and learning something. Here we see that they don't want to follow up on what was already offered. They're demanding even more information. They're dragging in politics and insisting on a discussion of military policy. And this is about a post about a chicken dinner fundraiser. After being called out as trolling the thread, it responds with a statement along the lines of, okay, I would support this type of event, but only if there would be talks of a movement against the government. So, troll? Wingnut? Hybrid? I'll let you decide. Either way, this was on a thread about a chicken dinner for the VFW, and this person clearly wasn't interested in supporting the VFW's efforts. Moving on to a recap of COVID-19 in Merced County for last week. On Tuesday the 23rd, the Merced Sun-Star reported that Gavin Newsom gets new power to withhold funds for counties that don't follow COVID-19 rules. Also on the 23rd, ABC7 reported that single-use bags are banned once again in California, and I will leave links to both of these articles in the description portion below this video in case you want to read them. In Livingston, an event that had been scheduled for the 26th was canceled because of the rising number of active COVID-19 cases. As of Friday the 26th, total cases countywide had risen to 824, and active cases, shown here in red, had risen to 448. Here are the numbers I took from the daily updates at the county dashboard. You might like to pause the video here to look it over a little more. These numbers also came from the county dashboard and shows the increase in positive cases by community, by how much these numbers increased over the previous week, and the percentage of increase. As of June 26th, there were 824 total cases, 541 of them for the month of June. Most of the increase for last week was in the 18 to 49-year-old age range. Where all this is heading, I have no idea. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're subscribed to the channel already, you might want to check and make sure you're still subscribed so you're notified whenever a new video goes live. And subscribe if you're new. Until next time, this is the gardening snail of Livingston, California, because not every critter is hiding under a rock.